The Prince and the Pauper, chapter 15, Tom as a king. Now we know the story up to now, the plot. The Prince and the Pauper meets at the palace. They meet at the palace, they exchange clothes. The prince leaves the palace as a beggar boy, and Tom remains as the prince. Now, after King Henry's death, Tom conventionally becomes King of England. In the last chapter we discussed how Tom handles the royal matters without any experience about kingship. Hartford helped him. In this chapter, we are going to discuss further Tom's role as King of England. Now, after meeting the whipping boy, Tom gathers much needed knowledge. Now, Tom fails in the palace because he does not have the necessary information, necessary knowledge regarding these palace people, their way of life, and all other royal matters. But you know, from the whipping boy, Tom comes to know much about this. It is with this knowledge that we meet Tom in this chapter. Tom as king. The next day, the foreign ambassadors came with gorgeous trains. They are gorgeous trains. You know, gorgeous means very attractive, elegant, or beautiful. They are people, officers, trains, not the train on the rail, but some followers, foreign ambassadors. Now you can see Tom's situation. He's the head of the country. Therefore, he has to deal with other countries. Foreign ambassadors means the official people from other countries to represent the other countries, people to represent the other countries, ambassadors. Tom thrown in awful state. Now, throne means seated on the throne. In awful state. What is awful state? In respectable, great situation, or awful. Receive them, welcome them. The splendors of the scene delighted his eye. The beautiful scenes, splendors means beauty of the scene delighted his eye, made his eye very happy, fired his imagination, aroused his thinking, imagination at first. But the audience was long and dreary. But this meeting was very long and dreary. Dreary means fed up or monotonous. Still, Tom does not like this position as king, because he often feels that his personal freedom has lost has lost. Tom feels like a prisoner. He does not feel like a king yet. He does not feel like a king yet. At heart, he is still a beggar boy. So most of addresses, most of speeches were dreary, monotonous, dreary. Wherefore, what began as pleasure grew into weariness and homesickness by and by. Tom said the words which hard fought. Now, this is very important. Underline. Now, this is Tom's situation by this moment. Tom said the words which Hartford put into his mouth. You see, it is still Hartford who advises Tom put into his mouth from time to time. Now you can see Tom is still a nominal king. Only by appearance he is a king, not by action or at heart. He speaks whatever this advisor, Hartford, tells him. And tried hard. He tried best to acquit himself, to do something satisfactorily. But he was too new to such things, too new, novel, no experience, inexperienced, too ill at ease, even not very confident. Ill at ease means not confident to accomplish, complete, or fulfill more than a tolerable success. He looked sufficiently like a king. You see, he looks like a king, but he was ill-able. He does not feel like one. Ill-able means does not feel. He is able to feel. He is not able to feel like a king. At heart, he is still a beggar boy. Now, this is Tom's situation when this chapter begins. But you know, this changes along with time because Tom is a fast learner. He learns things very fast. He's very intelligent, smart. The larger part of the day was wasted, as he termed it. Now Tom feels much of his time is wasted on unwanted, unnecessary matters in his own mind, especially in labors, questions. Labors means these problems pertaining to his royal office. However, he had a private hour with his whipping boy. Now Tom enjoys some happy time with the whipping boy. Now he has allowed whipping boy to meet him whenever he's at leisure. Right. Now this whipping boy becomes Tom's best friend as well as his source of knowledge. He gathers much knowledge, information from speaking to this boy. The third day of Tom Canty's kingship came and went. Now, 3 days, third day, 3 days have passed, came and went, much as others had done. But there was lifting of his cloud, underlined. This is also very important. Now, this is where Tom's changes begins. Tom's changes of thoughts regarding this new position. lifting of his cloud, now dark clouds over Tom's life as a king, lifting, moving away, going away, giving some sunlight. He was getting little used to. Now you see, Tom is getting used to this new environment, new situation. Circumstances mean situation and surroundings, environment. This new situation and this new environment, Tom is getting used to. He becomes familiar. Getting used means becoming familiar to his new situation. But for one single dread, except for one single fear, dread means fear. Right? What is that? What is that single fear? It is a dinner, public dinner. Right? He could have seen the fourth day approach. He could have seen the fourth day approach. Approach means come. Simple meaning is come. Without serious distress. Now Tom understands, if not for this single fear, dread, the fourth day could not have been a serious distress, serious sorrow. What is there on the fourth day? The dining in public. The dining in public, underline. This is the dreadful event that Tom is to meet on the fourth day. What is this dreadful, fearful event? Eating, taking part in a public dinner. Now, this is a tradition of the royal palace. A king has to take dinner. Before the countrymen, country people, right? It's a tradition because the people must know their king is healthy. Their king is healthy. He can rule them. That is the symbolic meaning of this public dinner. It was to begin that day. There were greater matters in that program. For on that day, he would have to preside. The others matter is to preside. Preside means sit or chair at a council meeting, which would take his views. In this meeting, they will take his views, commands concerning the policy matters to be pursued, to be conducted, followed. Pursued means followed toward various foreign nations, foreign countries, scattered far and near over the great globe, everywhere over the great world. Globe means world. On that day, Hartford would be formally chosen. Hartford would be selected. Chosen means selected or promoted to another position or given another position. What is that position? The grand office of Lord Protector. Lord Protector means the protector of the king. Now, Hartford would be appointed as the protector of the king. Now, that is the other matter Tom has to attend. Other things were appointed for that 4th day, but to Tom they were all insignificant. But other matters are very small, not important. Insignificant means not important compared with the ordeal of the difficult task. Ordeal means difficult task of dining, eating, all by himself. all alone with a multitude, great multitude, so many, multitude means curious eyes, curious people, eyes means here people, curious people fasten upon him, looking at him, and a multitude of mouths, so many mouths whispering, speaking comments upon his performances, upon his mistakes, right? Now, this is what Tom fears. Now, Tom does not want to be a failed king this time. He wants to be a real king this time. This is his desire now. Tom begins to love his new position as king. Tom begins to love his new position as king. Right. Now, I will skip some part and come to the main action again. Go to page 110. 110. Right. This situation takes place when Tom is in the Royal Assembly. Write down. The situation takes place when Tom is in the Royal Assembly. After a little while, Tom, who had wandered to window and become interested in the life and movement of the great highway. Now, through a window, Tom happens to see a great movement. Movement means people's walking. March, people's march on the highway, great highway, the main road beyond the palace gates. And not idly interested. He is very interested in it because he longing, expecting, desiring with all his heart to take part in person, in its stir, this movement and freedom. Why? Tom loves this freedom. How people freely walk here and there in the street. But Tom has been used to it, but now he has lost that situation, that freedom. Therefore, he questions Hartford. I would like to know, I would like to know what is about, what is it? He exclaimed, I would like to know what it is. Tom questions, Tom expresses, he asked. Then Hartford says, thou art the king. You are the king. You have that power. You are the king. You can do anything you like. Now here Hartford mentions the great power, refers to the great power that Tom has. Have I your gracious leave to act? Can I have your permission to act? Oh, blithely yes. Oh, happily yes. Oh, gladly yes. Now Tom says, yes, yes, you can do. I wanted to know why those people, why are they marching along the street? Now, Tom excitedly, adding to himself with a lively sense of satisfaction. Now he has some sense of satisfaction about his life, duty, Now he thinks, in truth, really, being a king, becoming a king is not all dreariness, all monotonous. It has its compensations and conveniences, benefits, advantages, and uses. Becoming a king is beneficial, advantageous. Now Tom understands the taste of power. The taste of power. Now, the Earl called a page. The Earl means Hartford. Called a page. Page means servant. Here, a page means servant. And sent him to the captain of the guard. Let the mob be halted. Stop the mob. The mob means the group of people. Stop the group of people. Inquiry made. Make some inquiry. Ask concerning, regarding the occasion of this movement. Occasion, the situation, the reason for this movement, marching. This is king's command, by the king's command. Right? A few seconds later, a long rank of royal guards, cased in flashing steel, dressed, case means dressed in flashing, shining, iron dress, filed out, gathered at the gates. Filed out means gathered at the gates and formed, made across the highway in front of the multitude. They blocked the road. They blocked the road, formed across the highway means they blocked the road in front of the people. Multitude means people. A messenger returned. After some time, a messenger came to report. The crowd were following a man, a woman, and a young girl to execution, underline, for crimes committed against the peace and dignity of the country. Realm means country or the government. Now, these people are following three other persons. Who are these persons? They are criminals. Criminals. They have killed other people. Murderers. Who are them? A man, a woman, a young girl. They are taken for execution. What is execution? To be killed. To be killed. For death. Death punishment. Execution, in other words, it means death punishment. Right. Now, people are following them to see this punishment. Right. Now, this is the news that comes to Tom. Tom is frightened by this because Tom personally hates killing people. He does not like to see or death or to see people get killed. Death, violent death, some things, dangerous death for these poor unfortunates, these poor people. Unfortunate means unlucky people. For these poor unlucky people. The thought wrung, affected, hurt Tom's heart strings, depth of his heart. We know Tom is merciful. Tom hates violence. Tom hates crimes, even death. The spirit The spirit of compassion took control of him. Spirit of compassion. Compassion means mercy, love and mercy. A sense of love and mercy control him now. Now Tom is not controlled by anger, pride, or violence. Tom is now controlled by mercy, love. He feels sorry for these people. He is sympathetic with these people. Therefore, he forgets all other important matters to the exclusion of disregard of all other. Exclusion means disregard of all other considerations, all other matters. He never thought of the offended laws. Never thought of the offended laws. What is the idea of offended laws? Broken laws. Now, Tom does not think of these broken laws by these people, or even the grief, or even the sorrow, or loss, which these three criminals had inflicted. Tom does not even think of the sorrow or the loss that these criminals had inflicted. Done simply means done or given upon their victims. He could think of nothing. Tom cannot think of nothing but the scaffold. What is scaffold? Where people are killed, the instrument used to kill people, scaffold. The instrument used to kill people. Now Tom thinks of this killing machine, scaffold, in other words, killing machine. The grisly fate, this ugly fate hanging over their heads, hanging over the heads of the condemned, these condemned, these victims of the law. Condemned means, right. His concern made him even forget. Because of this concern, he forgot. He even forgot for the moment that he was but the false shadow of Tom. Even forgets that he is not a real king. False shadow means not a real king. But before he knew it, he had blurted out, given this. Blurted out means given this command. Tom's command, bring them here. Now Tom command. Now this is real kingship. This is king's order. Now Tom has developed. Tom has developed. Now he can command. He can command like a king. Right? He can command like a king. Even Tom is happy about this situation. He can command like a king. Right. Then I will go to skip and go to 112. 112. Okay. We come to main action again. This part. Tom now ordered. Now those three criminals are brought before Tom. Right? A man, a woman, and a girl. Okay. Now, 112, this part. From here, I will read it. In a little while, the measured tread, right? right? Okay. The measured tread of military men was heard approaching, and the culprit entered the presence of the charge of under sheriff and escorted by detail of king's command guard. The civil officer knelt before Tom, then took aside. The three doomed persons knelt also. They also knelt down, remained so. The guard took position behind Tom's chair. Tom scanned the prisoners curiously. Something about the dress or appearance. Scan means check. Now all prisoners are brought before Tom. They are kneeling before Tom. Tom is scanning. Scanning means to have a sharp look, scan. Now Tom has a sharp look at these prisoners curiously. Something about the dress or appearance of the man. Now the male prisoner, the man, he is somewhat familiar to Tom. Why? His dress or physical appearance is familiar to Tom. It started vague memories, a simple memory or unclear memory about him, because Tom has seen this man at awful court. Meetings means I think. I have seen this man here means before this, here now. But Tom thinks, but when or where failed me. I cannot remember when or where, but I have seen this man at awful court. Such was Tom's thought. Just then the man glanced quickly up. At that moment, that criminal man looked up, glanced quickly. Glance means look quickly up, dropped his face again. Not being able to endure, he looked quickly up and down because he is unable to endure. Endure means bear or see the awful pot, the dangerous situation of sovereignty. Sovereignty means the king. But one full glimpse, but Tom has to take complete picture, sight. Glimpse means sight of the face, man's face, which Tom got was sufficient. That is good enough. Now Tom remembers who this man is. Now is the matter clear. Tom thinks, now it's clear to me. This is the stranger. This is the strange man that plucked. Plucked means saved, removed. Guilesweet. The boy Guilesweet from Thames. Thames is the river. This is the man who rescued a drowning boy from Thames. Now, he has been a good person, but now, because of some bad action, he has become a criminal. That windy, bitter first day of the new year. It is the new year, January 1st. Tom, remember how January 1st of the year, he saved a drowning boy from Thames. A brave good deed. Really, it was a brave work. Pity, sorry. He has been doing base one. I'm very sorry, this man has done something bad. Base one means bad things and got himself in this case. Right. Now, Tom is going to speak to these criminals. Now, Tom is no more a bigger boy. Now he is a real king. That is what we have to know. Tom has changed now. Tom has changed by experience, by learning himself, teaching himself, by speaking to the whipping boy through the help of Hartford. Now, Tom has developed, grown into a real king. This is very important. This is Tom's character development as a king. Character development as a king. Okay, we'll discuss the other part of this chapter in our next session.